Check. Ross, I guess first off, maybe talk about the relief of not any more severe damage than there was with that puck that wound up.
It was just an unfortunate play. Just trying to get to the front of the net, and fortunate enough that, that's why we wear helmets, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it kind of adds to the feeling that it's a grimy and dangerous place to go.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think anytime you're around there, you're going to get a slash or something, not expecting a puck to the face from your own guy. So, again, I was fortunate enough to get off the helmet. It was all good.
When you look back on last night, how much value do you put into the fact that it was, as a team, your best performance against Winnipeg this year? I know Jared had mentioned that in his post-game comments.
Yeah, no, I thought we played well for the most part. Obviously, we got to do a better job in front of Georgiev. We got to clean up some areas, but for the most part, it's obviously a 7-game series. We did enough to win, and we watched some video here this morning. Did a good job learning some stuff, and just build off that energy. We got to keep the spirits high, stay motivated, and stay positive.
So, other than the cleaning up without the puck type of thing, you'd want to retain a fair amount of how you played last night.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think our energy was high from the start. We did a good job, I think, limiting them. They didn't have any shots all night, so for us, again, it's just cleaning up some turnovers, some areas that we can do a better job with, and then just continuing to get pucks behind their D and forecheck. I thought we did a really good job, all 4 lines of that last night.
Ross, from a mindset standpoint, that can be a frustrating game. You guys put up 6. Don't come away with the win. There's a lot of leadership in this room. You're a guy that's won. What's just the mentality after a game like that?
Yeah, just you said it perfectly. Just stay positive. Obviously, it's a long 7-game series. A lot of guys in this room have been in situations like this. It's you lose game 1. It's really not a big deal. I think, like I said, we have a lot of positives to draw from that game, and just turn the page, move forward, and come out hungry, and we got to take game 2.
When Georgiev has a night like that game and gives up 7 goals, do you as teammates try to lift him up and support him, or do you give him space on tough nights like that? Just how do you help him?
Yeah, no, he's our guy, and obviously maybe he wants some back, but again, that's on us. We got to do a better job of limiting the turnovers, boxing guys out in front, and not kind of giving them some great A's that they had. So that's for us to kind of clean up in front of him. But he's battled for us all year. He's a warrior. So for him, he'll just turn the page, and we'll be good to go for game 2.
Obviously, playoffs are a different beast, but what do you guys think you did differently last night that maybe you hadn't done against Winnipeg during the regular season?
I think we just. I don't know. I think, obviously you said it perfectly, playoffs are a different animal, and I think, for us, we came out hungry. Whatever happened in the regular season, it's a new season starting now, so we turned the page on that. We did a good job watching some video on them, kind of knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are, and tried to capitalize on that. So again, it's just for us to, learn from game 1 and, move forward here.
It seemed like the whole team played with intensity, but things were really ramped up from that line that you played on. Can you tell me about flipping that switch and ramping things up for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think just, obviously with Drew out, we're going to have some different line combinations. So, for Jared, for us, he just told us, play hard, play physical. And, I've been with Woody all year, and that's kind of the game that I think both of us try and play, and especially in playoffs, kind of, more comes out of us. So for us, it's just play physical. Like I said before, get pucks behind their D and kind of get on the forecheck, hit them and make them turn it over. And, we got rewarded on that goal with just kind of playing that style. So hopefully we can keep doing that these next couple games.
Thanks, Rob.
That's sweet. Thanks.
Some of the positives you take. It feels like there's some confidence in the room still right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think for sure. Like you said, score 6, especially on a good defensive team and a really good goalie was good for us. And obviously there's things defensively that we can clean up and still maintain the offense, I think. And definitely excited for game 2 tomorrow.
Was last night presented to NHL playoffs and what the intensity of that looks like?
I didn't really know what to expect, and I don't think you really know until you play. And obviously it's a different level of intensity and a little different level of physicality. So, had a blast, and I'm looking forward to doing it some more.
It seemed like you guys' line found some chemistry last night. Was that just a matter of you guys have had a few games together, kind of get used to each other?
Yeah, I think obviously it takes a little bit of time, and I think we actually complement each other really well. And at least for me, seeing those guys, 2 guys, I think that I can play really well with. And I thought it was a strong game for us, and I try to keep it going tomorrow.
Especially with Val, what do you like about playing with him?
Yeah, I mean he's a big boy for sure. Goes to the net hard and makes plays with the puck. So I don't think there's a whole lot not to like, to be honest. And yeah, like I said, I think we could complement each other really well, and yeah, try to keep building on it.
And then, like, everybody always talks about how physical the playoffs can be. Was that, like, had you played in a game like that before? I mean, even you were throwing the body around quite a bit.
No, I think, with the energy and the atmosphere overall, I don't know if I've played in a game like that in my career, to be honest. And, I loved it, though. I loved every second of it. So, yeah, definitely excited for more, for sure.
The crowd last night was crazy, and I know they feed off it. Do you guys feed off that at all? Even though they're not obviously cheering for you, but you guys get into that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know personally, I think, especially being on the road, I think it's fun to come into someone else's barn and be the villains. And, yeah, the crowd was awesome and extremely loud. So, yeah, I mean, I keep saying it, but excited for Game 2 for sure.
Casey, you played against him before. What have you learned about Nate McKinnon being around him on a day-to-day basis since the trade?
Yeah, I'm happy I don't have to play against him anymore, first of all. And, I think the main thing is his intensity and his work ethic. I mean, to be that good of a player, and the will and the want to get better every day, and the work ethic. I think that's the thing that stands out the most to me. And I've heard about it, but now that you see it, I think it motivates me as well, and it brings a lot of the guys with him for sure.
What did you learn about the Jets yesterday? I know you saw him twice in 8 days now. I mean, anything else stand out about the second meeting in a short span of time?
To be honest, I think they've got a good read on what we are, and we've got a pretty good read on what they are. So, I think for us, just using our forecheck and getting on their D and trying to play with the puck is probably the main objective. And, I thought we did a good job of it last night. And like I said, we're going to have to clean some things up defensively, but keep our focus on that, and I think we should be fine.
I guess it seems like the message from after the game last night and then this morning is all about, like, limiting mistakes on defense. After you guys went back and watched it, did you feel like you made a lot, or
we made a few, and myself personally, that cost us goals, just ended up from back then, and that's kind of the fine line that the NHL is.
Overall, just kind of mindset-wise, it seemed like there was a lot of good things to take out of that game. Jerry talked about that. We heard from some of the guys in the room. Is that a relatively positive mindset coming out of that game despite not getting the result?
Yeah, I think that's what we talked about. We felt like we played a really good game, made a few mistakes, and they capitalized on it. But at the end of the day, even though we played a good game, we still lost. Right? It's still one win for them in the series. So I think we still have to keep that mentality going into the next game. So.
Is it a confidence boost? You struggled against them in the regular season. You guys put up more goals last night than you did all year long. Does that help? Not really.
Yeah, I mean, it helps. I think knowing that we can score goals against them. I mean, I don't think we ever didn't believe we could, though. I think we trusted in our offense that was in this room. I feel like we played, like I said, like a really good game last night. It's just the mistakes that were made that cost us. And so, no, I think the belief is still there, and it wasn't a major confidence boost. I think it was always there.
Is there, like you mentioned you made a couple, but there was also, it felt like at times like you were having one of your better games in a long time, or just playing very well. How do you sort of deal with that? Like, I know that's what it is to be a defenseman in the NHL, right? You play good for 58 minutes, you get one bad shift, and that's what we're talking about the next day. But just how do you sort of, I don't know if it's move on from that or what the...
You just do. It's part of being a professional, I think, right? It's just figuring out what went wrong and how you can be mentally sharper. Like you said, I did feel like offensively I was contributing and making plays and whatever, but really that's not my game. My game that's kept me in the NHL is putting points on the board. It's keeping pucks out of the net best I can. So I think I got to get back to that a little bit. Just getting hard to play against in front of the net. Just make a little bit better reads, and let the offense come from there. I think, like you said, I did feel like I played a pretty good game, but made a few mistakes and ended up in the back of our net because of it.
On the long road getting back to this point from last year when you were dealing with just getting back to 100% full health, what does it mean to you to be back in the playoffs at 100% and what you want to contribute to this team?
Yeah, obviously last season was really tough, and it was a long, arduous battle to try and get to healthy. And, I don't know if you ever played 100%, but feeling close to it is as happy as you can be going into the playoffs. And it was just nice to kind of have my feet underneath me coming into game one.
Sorry, Josh, I know you get asked about Nate all the time.
What stands out to you about his season that he's had this year?
His work ethic, obviously, right? Like he works on his game so much and the little things, and I think when you're in that elite of a category, when you start to work on the little things, you know, exposing your game a little bit more, you start to find those little differences that make him even better, and that's a dangerous thing, because those guys, and that's a long-winded answer, but you know, you talk about like Kobe Bryant and stuff and how hard they work, right? Well, they kind of had this skill to begin with, right? They have all this talent and they work so hard, and then it's just like they just flourish and they become so much better than everybody else because that talent is allowed to kind of flourish, right? And that's kind of what I think he's doing, is he's giving himself every opportunity to have that talent, that natural God-given ability that he has to continue to just flourish, and that's just making him different.
Yeah, I saw